Hi, this is Coach Chan from Uppercut Martial Arts Studio. Today we are going to talk about the free sparring introduction for yellow-green belt. Last video I have already explained the footwork for free sparring intro. So I'm going to further expand that explanation into the actual footwork. So just a recap, when we move forward, alright, it doesn't matter which leg, the leg closest to the direction that you want to go, lift up, and the back leg will push you forward. Alright, so if I go backward, I will lift up my back leg and push back. So it's the same as side. Alright, but in Taekwondo free sparring, we are performing light to semi-contact. It's supposed to be light contact due to the history when we first introduced free sparring in the 60s and 70s. We are doing full contact and there's a lot of injuries, and our founder wanted to avoid this kind of incidents. That's why we introduced light contact. But in ITF, our motions and combinations involve a lot of punches and kicks, are not that easy to go towards light contact. So sometimes our strike is close to semi-contact, and that's the reason why we want to retain somewhere in between light and semi-contact, and not to be too violent in free sparring, but at the same time we want to retain that self-defense motion. Alright, instead of just following the rules to score the points, we want to retain certain element of self-defense. So last video I talked about the footwork, and this video I'm going to further expand that footwork into something that we Taekwondo uses in free sparring. That means we jump, alright? Not really necessarily called jump, it's called hopping this way. Now when we hop this way, our kicking response is faster. If we stay stationary, our kick will be stronger, but we sacrifice a lot of speed. Hence, that's why you see a lot of Taekwondo opponents, when they perform competition in free sparring in competition or examination, we always hop. And our stance is slightly bigger than kickboxing, because kickboxing involves boxing, alright? Taekwondo just involves straight punch, alright? So that's the reason why we hop. And the direction that we go and how we move our leg is the same as my introduction. So if I'm doing this, see that? Moving forward, it's still using my back leg to move forward. Alright, moving backward, same thing. Moving sideways. Alright, so the concept is the same, but we just hop a lot. And this is very important for the beginners in yellow or yellow-green belt to understand what they are doing, because we already explained to them how to control the distance in three-step sparring. So they recognize if your punches reaches the opponent from this distance, there's no point teaching them to stand closer just to punch them. So it's not easy to explain this to the beginners. Hence they have to use the exercises to understand that action, because the opponent that you're sparring with, they are also moving. But in three-step sparring, your opponent is not moving freely. They are following the set of rules that moving 3 steps forward and 3 steps back. So it's very important in free sparring, you have to let them understand your opponent will move. Alright? So if you do not have the correct footwork, you will see that your students, especially the beginners, moving cross-leg forward, chasing like that, moving all over the place, just like when they are playing games in school. Alright? So footwork is very important, and they have to do a lot of practice with a partner. They do not need to strike. They just need to understand how far their reach is for the hand and leg, depending on different kind of kicks. So when the instructor is introducing straight punch, very, very simple. Because Taekwondo, there's only straight punch. There's no hooking, uppercut, or body hook or whatever, just straight punch. So here is a very good example where you can ask them, one partner moving around, training how to defend, to divert. I will explain that in a further video in free sparring. And one opponent who is training to understand the footwork, to control distance and try to touch the other partner's either the hand or the head, forehead, to be safe. So you keep moving. And the challenge will start when the opponent starts to move as well. So you have to keep that distance. Why? Because if you start asking this opponent to touch you on the forehead or the hand back, that means you have to be further away to be safe. So it takes, if it's consistent, they should by right able to recognize how important footwork is to stand in the distance that they can strike and in the distance that they can avoid. So this falls down to the 3 circles of attack and the 3 circles of defense. Now I'm not going to explain that 3 circles of attack and defense because it will further confuse you. So we stick back to this footwork and start a basic training on simple punches and kick. Now right from white belt to yellow green, you only have 5 different kicks. Front kick, turning kick, side kick, back kick, twisting kick. So you have 5 kicks. You can just ask your students to practice distance control and use whichever leg, front leg or back leg, to practice how they can execute those techniques against the opponent, and make sure they can just lightly touch so that the opponent will not be easily scared off. Alright? In our days, we just don't care. We just whack whoever is in front of us. The stronger they are, alright, the less we're going to kick. The weaker they are, we're going to chase them like nobody's business. So this is a very wrong approach for Taekwondo school, because you need to encourage the students to have a good partner in school. And a good partner has to gain the respect and be at peace when they partner with you, instead of just, oh, you're so big and strong and you don't take care of me, that kind of scenario. So it's very important that you teach this to the students and they learn to respect each other for the training. So when two of the students are partnering for a long time, they know each other's move. Alright? And they train open-heartedly. They move easily. They dare to try something new. Okay? And from there on, you switch partner. You switch to face someone else. You teach them another scenario where, okay, this partner is taller, shorter, bigger, smaller. Then they have different type of sparring approach. You have to bring them to this stage, and their footwork will be different. It's just that simple. Just move around, kick, and learn the reach of their kicks and punches. And both sides, one sided doing all the work, the other side just avoid. Or sometimes each one take turns. Hence, you will be able to introduce them what is sparring. All right. Then so on, you start to explain to them in sparring. There's a set of rules. Punching the face, how many points? Punching the body, how many points? Kicking the body, how many points? Kicking the face, how many points? Jump punch to the face, how many points? Jump kick to the face, how many points? And vice versa. These are the set of rules. And where you can kick, when you're not allowed to kick, top, behind, side, back, lower, below the belt are forbidden area. You're not allowed to touch those areas. So your training will be safer, all right? And they are honed in the skills of point scoring. So when they go for tests or competition, they know what to go for and know what is their advantage, disadvantage, and so on. So this is footwork, hopping footwork, understanding distance training, all right? Don't worry whether you get that rules right or wrong. As long as you get the concept, you want to be safe. Standing too close to someone, they can hit you. Too far, you can't reach them. So that is where my 3 circles of attack will explain, which is not now. And when you are defend, there's also another 3 circles of defend. Where you stand matters, all right? And what type of person you're facing, taller, shorter, bigger, smaller. What type of techniques you should use. Should you go for face when that person is taller than you, a lot taller, and you can't kick that high? Of course not, you go for the body. So you have to have that kind of probability and start training in that approach with the same footwork. So this guy is almost as tall as me, all right? See, smiling face, train together happily. So this is the ideal partner to train. So you need to know. So I can hit him because I recognize my distance. If I'm standing here, I can hit him, yes. He also can hit me. So when that opponent, that's why I have 2 balls, all right, to train at home. When you hit, the lower ball will hit you. That is some kind of counter attack, and make that movement unpredictable, all right? You need this kind of exercise. And the second thing is, when you practice your footwork, you will try to match your movement timing and rhythm, same as your opponent. Because if you move faster than them, you miss. You move slower than them, they will hit you, all right? So it's very important to know the distance when you practice your footwork, especially after the first hit. So this exercise with a partner, if you have a partner, or if not, you can use this kind of target, will train you to strategize. Where should I stand? How far should I stand against your opponent? So that my favorite technique, what kind of kick, maybe side kick or whatever, can reach them and score the points. Now, the thing is, you want to score points in light contact, you have to make sure the strike counts. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Yes, this will count. This is light contact, okay? Doesn't count. So you have to train yourself to strike through, all right? If you, like that, it doesn't count, all right? If you punch, it's a foul. It doesn't count, you'll be in trouble. Okay, so train your footwork. That is the start in any sparring in Taekwondo. You have to control where you can move, especially in the ring. You have limited space. You have to learn to move in circle and so on. Then you don't get the chance of getting pushed out and get warnings or get your points deducted. All right. So footwork is number 1. Then you mix your punching technique, all right? Front leg, front hand, back hand, how you move, hopping around, using your kick and whatnot, and to score points, all right? So at the same time, you need to know when to pull back. If you do not pull back and keep charging onwards, which you have to explain to your students, they will stick together and keep trying to hit each other. There's no point, because 1 point, 2, no point, 3, no point. If you repeat the same technique more than 2 times, there's no points. If you punch 1, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, this will count. So you have to plan your approach and also plan your defense, because we train mostly on counter attacks, not initial attack. All right? So you have to allow your opponent to make a move sometimes so that you can plan, oh, he always had that turning kick. So how am I going to counter that turning kick and score that point? It's all based on your footwork. All right? So today's video on hopping footwork, controlling distance, standing at the right time to use your favorite techniques, That's your first lesson. You have to practice for a while, and you need a target for that. But don't hurt that target, because you want to encourage that target to help you train better. So I will slowly guide you to use these basic kicking techniques and punches to create a basic combination, a basic approach and defenses to let the yellow-green belt understand, oh, I am stepping into free sparring to learn how to defend myself using punch and kick. It's not advanced yet. When you get to green belt and so on, I will slowly introduce more combination so that you have better idea how to improve your free sparring technique, but not now. Don't teach them so much in a short time. Just show them the footwork, move around more so that it becomes a default action, and let them learn how to strike from a safe distance. That means you can reach them, and right after that they can't reach you. So that back and forth movement, avoid sideways and back movement is very important. You have to get that footwork into your system without thinking too much. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video today. It's been a while since my last video. I'll try to make as much video as possible. Feel free to post your comments below this video, and I'll get back to you with another video in response, or I just reply from your post. So please feel free to like, share and subscribe to my video. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.